The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi.
The Great Lakes comprise the largest collective body of freshwater on the planet, containing roughly 1/5 of the Earth's supply. Ever since the Soo Locks were built in 1855, a parade of ships have been moving goods up and down the Great Lakes. During World War II, 7,000 Army soldiers were sent to protect the Soo Locks, the most guarded point in North America. Had Germany been able to somehow destroy the Soo Locks, it surely would have won World War II. Without the locks, the U.S. would not be able to fuel the arsenal of democracy by getting iron ore from Duluth, Minnesota to Detroit, Michigan, to build bombers at Willow Run Airport, or tanks at the Detroit Arsenal tank plant. At its height, Willow Run was producing a bomber every hour. In 1957, Edmund Fitzgerald, the CEO of Northwest Mutual Insurance in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, decided to build the greatest ship to ever sail the Great Lakes. And on June 7, 1958, at a cost of $84 million, the Edmund Fitzgerald was launched near Zug Island. 729 feet long and 75 feet wide, it was the largest ship on the Great Lakes. Its normal route was from Duluth, Minnesota, over the Keweenaw Peninsula, through Whitefish Bay, the Soo Locks, Lake Huron, down the St. Clair River to Lake St. Clair, then through the Detroit River to Detroit, which typically took 2 to 3 days, and then back to Minnesota to do it all over again, about 50 times a season. Each trip bringing enough taconite to build 700 cars. During its 13-year career, the Edmund Fitzgerald made 748 round trips from Superior, Wisconsin to Detroit, Michigan, taking about 5 days for a normal trip with a top speed of 14.2 knots. It also set 6 seasonal cargo haul records over its career. With a storm approaching from the south, the Edmund Fitzgerald and the Arthur M. Anderson leave Superior, Minnesota on November 9, 1975, both taking the northern route across Lake Superior, which takes an extra 14 hours to cross the lake. Had they taken a straight shot across the lake, they might have been able to reach the Soo earlier. Unfortunately, with the storm moving in much quicker, the two ships were now caught in near hurricane-force winds and waves up to 35 feet in an area known as the Graveyard of the Great Lakes. Many captains say that the waves on Lake Superior are much worse than those on the Atlantic. There have been 6,000 to 10,000 shipwrecks in the Great Lakes and over 30,000 lives lost. 240 shipwrecks just off Whitefish Point between 1816 and 1975. Having lost its long radar, short radar, taken on water, and a list, and with the light out at Whitefish Point as well as the radio beacon, the Edmund Fitzgerald decides to wait for about an hour for the Anderson to catch up. At around 7 o'clock, Captain McSorley's last message to the Arthur M. Anderson was, "We are holding our own."
I asked him how he was making out with his problem. He said he lost those grips and he had a lift, and he said he was holding his own. The last time I talked with him, he said he was holding his own, and that's the last time I lost contact after that. But it looks for the information that we have, and it's very certain that the Fitzgerald went down. And we're talking now about a matter of life and death and looking for survivors that might be in life rafts or in the water.
The ship sank 17 nautical miles from Whitefish Point and now rests at a depth of 530 feet.
Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the waves turn the minutes to hours? The searchers all say they'd have made Whitefish Bay if they'd put 15 more miles behind her. They might have split up or they might have capsized. They may have broke deep and took water. And all that remains is the faces and the names of the wives and the sons and the daughters. Lake Huron rolls, Superior sings in the rooms of her ice water mansion. Old Michigan steams like a young man's dreams. The islands and bays are for sportsmen. And farther below, Lake Ontario takes in what Lake Erie can send her. The iron boats go as the mariners all know, with the gales of November remembered. In a musty old hall in Detroit they prayed in the Maritime Sailors' Cathedral. The church bell chimed till it rang 29 times for each man on the Edmund Fitzgerald. And the legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi. Superior, they said, never gives up her dead when the gales of November come early.